We're going to begin this hour with the first major election since President Trump's return to the White House. Today, voters in New Jersey and Virginia are set to elect new governors. And here in New York City, voters are going to pick a mayor. Polls show that Zohran Mamdani, a self-described Democratic socialist, is leading former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is now running as an independent. We're also following some breaking news, the death of former Vice President Dick Cheney at the age of 84. To digest all this, we're joined by CBS News political contributors, Democratic strategist Joel Payne and Republican strategist Terry Sullivan. Gentlemen, always great to have you, in part because we ask you a question and then you guys talk to each other as much as us.
You get a break.
Which we appreciate. I want to start with Dick Cheney, his passing, and I'll go to you as a Republican, Terry. What did he mean to the Republican Party, and how has that party changed today?
Yeah, I mean, Dick Cheney is probably one of the most consistent elected officials in modern times, in that he didn't change. The party has changed. The party's evolved, but he's been very consistent. I had the opportunity to meet him and work with him over the years, and he cared passionately about the Republican Party and about ideas and ideology. He was not the most personable human being, but he was a good man who cared about the issues and cared about America. And he started off as the youngest chief of staff for a president in
Just
history.
35 years old.
35 years old.
Yeah.
Joel, you have any thoughts on
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's a ubiquitous nature of Dick Cheney, and not just Republican politics, but national politics, going back to the 70s and the Ford administration, and before that, the Nixon administration, all the way through his time as vice president. And I actually think that you look at the political moment we're in right now, it is a reaction very much to the politics of Dick Cheney and George W. Bush and kind of Republicans of a bygone era. Terry said this well, I agree with it. I don't think it's that Dick Cheney changed. I think the Republican Party changed. The reason why he endorsed Kamala Harris and his family kind of moved away from the current Republican Party, it's not an evolution from them. It's an evolution from the Republican Party. And I think that's notable as well.
There's some talk, Terry, about many of these races being a referendum on President Trump. Do you see it as that on any of his policies or positions?
I think all races are local, and I think a lot is always made about what this election means for the next election or the election after that. We saw last time in Virginia, Ken Cuccinelli won, and then Democrats immediately the next year took back the House, and then 2 years later took back the White House. So I don't know that it's necessarily a great harbinger of things to come. Both of the two states, Virginia and New Jersey, lean Democrat. Virginia, probably the less Democrat.
Do you think it's more about the candidates?
I do. I do. I think there's a deeply flawed Republican candidate in Virginia who's never been doing well in this race. The New Jersey race is much closer, probably closer than it should be. It went from a 10-point race down to a 3-point race. I still think Democrats win, but it's New Jersey. They should.
And Joel, let's talk about New York City. Prominent Democrats have been cautious to support New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. And the Democrats' approach to his rise has been quite quiet. What do you make of what this means for the party if he wins?
Well, Nate, it's interesting. I heard Terry talking about kind of the New Jersey and Virginia races. Those, to me, I disagree with Terry a bit, are a commentary, I think, on Donald Trump, on his presidency and how it's landing with the American people. I think that New York City mayor's race, that is a commentary on the Democratic Party. That is a proxy war for who will lead the party next, what is the coalition that will be most dominant. Of course, yes, Zohran Mamdani has talked about being a Democratic socialist, but the issues he's talking about, economic populism, working class issues. I mean,
government taking over grocery stores.
Let's not forget, he started his campaign by talking to New York City voters who voted for Donald Trump. That is the core of him building his coalition.
What does it mean for Democrats nationally that Republicans can now say that the Democratic Party is the party of Democratic socialists, too?
I mean, I think
the
Democrats are a Big Ten. I got to be honest with you. I think that both political parties, I think, have to be a little bit less precious about who's in their coalition. There are a lot of people in that Republican coalition that I think some of my Republican friends may have looked down upon in the past. And I think both political parties need to be a bit more open-minded about the types of people that they're welcoming to their coalition. And I think Zohran Mamdani has been skillful at stitching together a coalition of people, yes, who are on the far left, but also in the middle, people who want things to be more affordable. He is talking about things in the way that Democrats nationally have said we need to appeal to.
And it's landing.
And it's landing. It's not.
Yes,
it's not left right.
But
it is working class versus wealthy.
He's barely edging out a man who was almost impeached and had to resign in disgrace just a few years ago. Barely edging him out, and a guy who wears a beret. So at the end of the day, this is just a bunch of deeply flawed candidates running against each other.
But Terry, let me put it in football terms. We always say we can't complain about who we play against.
No, I agree.
Right?
100%.
You just have to go out and win the game.
But when you win the game, I agree 100%. It doesn't say that you're going to win the next game or the game after that. It says you beat that team on that day.
Quickly, I think who wins by how much tells a lot. If Zohran wins by over 10 points, I think it will have big reverberating effects for the Democratic Party. If it's a smaller victory, I think you'll see a smaller reaction.
Government shutdown, briefly. Does that play a role in any of this?
I don't think so. I think it's been pretty much, compared to government shutdowns, this one has gotten a lot less coverage, partly because there's so much other coverage out there with the war in Israel and everything else. But it has gotten a lot less coverage, and I think both parties are taking the exact same amount of blame.
I don't know about that. I think
CBS
it's pretty clear
last night.
I think it's pretty clear that Donald Trump and Republicans feel the heat. I think that's why the president changed his opinion on SNAP, and I think that's why Republicans are going to be more likely to want to come to the table.
Joel Payne, Terry Sullivan, we love having you.
We love having you.
We can talk
about really
this all day long. We appreciate you helping us unpack everything that can be a little complicated. CBS News will bring you an election night special from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on our streaming network, CBS News 24/7. And you can watch on our website, the CBS News app, and on Paramount Plus, of course.